Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Just Bulldogs podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Bailey. Haven't introduced myself in a little bit, so if you're new to the podcast, welcome. I appreciate having you on. Bit of a fun one, this one. A bit of breaking news today with Lachlan Galvin. By the Tigers saying that they will not be re-signing Lachlan Galvin at the end of his contract. He is contracted to the end of 2026. Lachlan Galvin rejected a 5-year, $5 million contract from the West Tigers. So it looks like as of November 1, he will be looking to negotiate with other clubs and looking for a new club. So pretty big news around the league. Lachlan Galvin, a young kid, only 19 years of age, I believe, debuted at the Tigers at 18. A very exciting talent in the NRL. Playing 5'8", he's a very ball-dominant player for this Tigers team. So wherever he goes, he'll be looking to be a very big signing. Yeah, as I said, that Tigers contract was 5 years, $5 million. So it's pretty likely that for a team to bring him in from the Tigers, will be looking to at least match that, if not paying more. So right now he's 19 years of age, born in 2005. Already a decent amount of first grade games under the belt, debuting in round 1 of 2024. Running through some of his stats, as I said, he's a very ball dominant 5'8". So I'm curious if he is only a 5'8". I haven't seen a lot of Galvin coming up through the ranks as a junior. He's been playing NRL at a pretty young age, so a lot of his development has been in the NRL. He's played in the 6 jersey since he has been in the Tigers first grade team. A lot of chat around him being a potentially moving into the lock jersey. I think it's unlikely because of the talent he has shown, the ability that he's shown in the 5'8 jersey. 5'8 is definitely a lot more valuable in the NRL than a lock is, though the lock has definitely become a lot more important in the NRL over the last few years. You're still looking at focus on your spine, particularly your 6 and 7. Lockie Galvin, yeah, as I said, he's 19 years old, 193 centimeters, is 6'4" and 85 kilos. 27 games so far in the NRL, 5 tries. So he's had a pretty good start to his NRL career. As I said, looking at a couple of his stats, so far this year in try assists, he's in third with a fair few players, but he has 5 already so far this year, with Cameron Munster leading the pack with 8. But the big stat that I want to talk about is the all receipts. So when a player runs the ball, every time they touch the ball, just about. If you look at Lachlan Galvin, he's on 341. His halves partner, the $1.6 $1 million man, new recruit Jerome Luai, 4-time premiership winner, 244. So he has 100 more touches of the ball in one more game, I will add, but 100 more touches so far this season Lockie Galvin has had over Jerome Luai. So he is still the dominant playmaker for this Tiger side, even with the 4-time premiership winner, Jerome Luai at halfback. So he's absolutely ball dominant. So I'm wondering, if a team brings him in, could he be a 7? I don't know if he has the kicking game of a halfback, of an elite halfback, elite kicking game of what you require from a halfback in the NRL. But as a hands on the ball runner and using his outside men, he has a good passing game. He's a very good runner of the ball. He wants the ball in his hand as much as possible, and he has a good short kicking game. So you can use that aspect of his game when you do get in the attacking areas. He can take control of the team. He can be your last tackle option as the kicker there. The only thing I'm unsure about is his long kicking game, but that's definitely something that you can develop. He's very young. His body will still develop, so he can get stronger in the kicking area. So definitely something to look out for there. Now, there's a bit of chat around what club he'll go to, but obviously me talking on here, Bulldogs podcast, bit of chat around him signing with the Bulldogs. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you have heard Gus Gould talk about the potential signing of Lachie Galvin to the Bulldogs on I think 9 now. All of those panel shows that Gus Gould is on. He has ranted and raved about Lachie Galvin as a player, as a prospect. Uh, not believe oh being very surprised that a player of his caliber is coming onto the market. He didn't shut down the potential of the Bulldogs signing him, which I definitely think is something to look out for. He has shot down that he does, or he has said in the past that he doesn't think Lachie Galvin should sign a long-term deal with the Tigers anytime soon, which is a bit of, well, is that just his personal opinion, or is that a bit of a professional opinion coming from a higher up at the Bulldogs that he wants to have the chance to be able to sign a player like Lachie Galvin, or to sign Lachie Galvin to the Bulldogs? So definitely something to look out for there. So if he come to the Bulldogs, what would that mean? Right now, Matt Burton's our 6. He, for me, definitely is the 6 for the future for the Bulldogs. He has developed his kicking game to be, in my opinion, one of the best long kicking games in the competition. I think he can match it with the likes of Cleary and Daly Cherry Evans for his long kicking game. Having one of the biggest boots in the comp, having the biggest boot in the comp. He's very good at getting the Bulldogs out of trouble if we're struggling to get out of our own end, and making it very difficult for the opposition to come out of their own end. So Matt Burton, for me, is a 6. I don't think he can be a 7 right now. He does have the kicking game of a 7, but he doesn't have the organizational skills to get a team around the park. He's a strike player. He wants to sit on his edge and get his side of the field going, which he's done very well, and he's continuing to develop that part of his game. But I don't think he has the demeanor of a 7. Lachie Galvin, so far in his career, only played in the 6 jersey, playing as a 5'8", also playing on the left edge. But he's a very ball dominant player that I think could control a team a bit more. He's still very young, so I think he could develop that part of his game. It would be tough right now for him to really control a team with that 7 jersey on his back. But as of now, he's still under contract for the rest of this year, 2025 and 2026 at the West Tigers. So you wouldn't be getting him until 2027. He would be 21, 22 years old by then. A bit more rugby league under his belt. I do think that the Tigers, it sounds like he's going to get dropped from this weekend's game. I'm recording this before Team List Tuesday, before team lists have been announced. It sounds like he's not going to be named in that side. But I can't see them sitting Lachie Galvin in New South Wales Cup for the rest of his contract. It would be a waste of talent. The Tigers will definitely still be trying to do something to potentially make the finals in 2025 and 2026. So they said they're not going to release him. I can't see them playing him in reserve grade until the end of his contract. So they'll use him somewhat in the NRL side. But I do think if he can, even if he's in New South Wales Cup, if he can focus on a bit of a game development kind of stuff, which he is a very ball dominant player, so he definitely could do that anyway. But I think he could play as a 7 in the future if he has a 6 next to him with a good kicking game, which the Bulldogs currently do with Matt Burton. Now, my thoughts on it, I have posted on a couple of Instagram pages, so if you're seeing some of my stuff around there, you might see it. I'm not sure it's the best thing for the Bulldogs going forward. Lachie Galvin is an incredible talent, a very good prospect. And if he's on the Bulldogs, I'll be very excited to see what he could do with the club. But I really like the way that we're going at the moment. We have Toby Sexton playing some pretty good football, and he, in my opinion, can hold on to that 7 jersey until one of our young kids come up. We have right now Joey O'Neill and Cassius Tia playing New South Wales Cup, playing pretty good football. Joey O'Neill really really stood out in the trial games. But we have the big one, Mitch Woods, who has just made his return in the SG ball competition, playing the first week of the finals there, and getting the one of the match sealing tries in that game to get them to week 2. He's an incredible prospect, but he is a prospect right now. We don't know what it'll be when he gets to the NRL, but he is a player that I'm very excited for the future of. So it'll be tough to block the pathway of some of our young players that are on the way up, but to have a player that has already shown what he can do in the NRL and absolutely excel at such a young age would be something to be pretty excited about. So definitely a lot of possibilities there, but My thoughts are I would prefer the Dogs to stay on the path they're at. We're currently sitting on top of the ladder, undefeated, 5 wins, 0 losses, with a still young team without a dominant halfback, Matt Burton really being the attacking force on this side. Even with him out for the past couple of weeks, the Bulldogs have done very well. And then we have Toby Sexton currently running the show with some good young kids on the way up. But Lachie Galvin does really bring some talent to any side that he gets signed to. There'll be a lot of sides really lining up to get his signature. But yeah, very big news coming out of the NRL today that he will not be at the West Tigers after his current contract. So there will be some pretty big waves going around. I'm sure Bulldogs will be in the mix. And unless Gus Gould comes out and says that the Bulldogs will not be signing him, I think if he doesn't say that, then the Bulldogs will be very heavily in the race to get his signature. So yeah, some pretty big stuff going on there. I definitely want to know your opinion on whether you want Lachie Galvin at the club. So reach out, comment on the YouTube page. I'm pretty keen to get some conversations going on there. I'll answer any of your comments. So if you've got any questions, jump on the YouTube channel and put your comments under that. But yeah, pretty big things happening. Especially if it did come to the Bulldogs, it would be a pretty exciting one to look out for. But I appreciate everyone for listening. I'll have a preview podcast coming out very soon for this week's Good Friday game against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. But that'll do for this one. I'll catch us next time. Bye.